For the in memoriam, guys.
Ryan Reynolds is working the room. He has a playbook. Respect the audience's intelligence and have a little fun.
I just was watching with my kids A League of Their Own. A League of Their Own is so good. And in 2025, you just know somebody's going to remake it with men.
For Time's cover story, we talked to Reynolds about his latest role as a business owner. He started by telling us about that one time he bombed in a movie.
I worked on a film, a big movie that didn't work. And it was Green Lantern. You know, it didn't work, but it certainly wasn't for lack of trying, and it certainly wasn't for lack of time or money.
But it inspired him to start a business.
I think it occurred to me, but more in a subconscious way, that really too much time and too much money will murder creativity. And constraint causes you to think asymmetrically and outside the box. So it changed my life in a good way. It's my name that is movie bombs. So I thought, oh, if I could just find a way to be the architect of my own demise instead of someone else, it would feel better if something fails that I also built something that I loved making.
Cue the music.
Reynolds had a hit with Deadpool in 2016.
Greetings, Munchkins. Did you like that dose of Green Band
and learned a
goodness?
bit about advertising in the process.
The Deadpool 1 movie is we had no money by superhero movie standards, like quarter of the normal budget. We didn't want to give away the movie and all of our marketing. So I had to find a way to acquaint the audience with this character without showing everything. We started making our own kind of ads. Myself and the digital head of marketing at Fox, his name was George Dewey, who I later poached.
Then, in 2018, Reynolds started Maximum Effort, a production company and marketing firm.
I used my Deadpool winnings to buy a little gin company, and then to market it, we were like, well, we'll market it. Like, let's go, we can do it. So we became a marketing agency by accident.
Oh,
Aviation Gin,
how'd that get there?
the world's fastest growing gin. Don't you want your mouth to like you?
Cut!
I think consumers, in general, audiences, they know they're being marketed to. So let them, acknowledge it. And if you do, they are more likely to author and share that story themselves. A commercial shouldn't feel like, today on a very special Dharma and Greg. You know, it should just, be what it's going to be. If it's emotional, like we acknowledge that's what it is. If it's funny, we wink in that way. It's not so much like a smirky wink. It's like a wink of like, we don't hate you.
At Mint, we won't waste millions running ads this Sunday like big wireless companies, but we will make an enormous logo.
Marketing requires so much constraint. You have to get so much across in such a short amount of time.
I'll have an Aviation Gin.
Reynolds and Maximum Effort have put their stamp on a new approach to marketing and advertising.
We call it fast advertising, where you kind of, if you're moving at the speed of culture, something happens.
Everyone's talking about the Pelaton bike
if you
brand.
Insert a brand into that conversation in real time and play with it, it usually is a pretty great effect,
It's the infamous ad that got everyone all spun up.
Peloton had made a commercial. It was a husband buys his wife a Peloton bike. And then the sort of implication was like, maybe he's monitoring her for the year? Like, you're doing great, keep going, And it just felt, I think, to people like, that's not how it works. That's not what we do. It became a moment.
Critics were quick to pounce, some calling the ad creepy and sexist.
There's a lot of backlash.
It might seem counterintuitive to use another brand's ad to market your own product, but the Maximum Effort team took advantage of the attention generated by the criticism and spun it their way.
It works like this. I'll text George, hey, that thing is blowing up. What if we did our Aviation Gin commercial? What if I could get that actor? Monica Ruiz, amazing. She dropped out 5 times within the space of 3 hours, worried that Peloton might, hunt her down or something. What I loved about it, and what she loved about it, was that it didn't punch down.
To new beginnings.
To new beginnings.
So at the end of the day, Peloton was psyched. She was super happy. Aviation Gin had like a 6 billion media impression, earned media hit. We can't afford paid ads at that point. I remember Peloton sent me a bike, which for a long time I thought might explode if I got on it or was a Trojan horse, but turns out no, it's just a really well-crafted exercise machine.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile.
As the owner of Wrexham Football Club.
All right, and here we have a portrait of our owner, Mr. Ryan.
The companies Reynolds co-owns or has sold are valued at over $14 billion, according to Forbes. It adds up to so much winning.
Wrexham promoted to
The football club he bought with fellow actor Rob McElhenney in 2021 has made history as the first team to ever achieve 3 promotions in 3 straight seasons.
First team to go back to back to back.
Meanwhile, Welcome to Wrexham, a show Maximum Effort produces chronicling the team's rise, has won 8 Emmys in 4 seasons.
I love sports, not so much as like a diehard fan of the game as much as I am of the culture around it.
While the project's mission was noble, to boost a struggling mining town, it also served as a maximum effort flex. The production and marketing company could make American consumers, historically agnostic towards soccer in general, actually care and invest in the future of an unknown, down-and-out Welsh football club.
All right, boys.
Players now feature in Super Bowl commercials for Stoke Cold Brew with Channing Tatum.
Drink up.
And make cameos in Deadpool movies.
I look at it sort of like concerts, sporting events, and theatrical exhibition plays, anything that brings people together, where we get to sort of check identity politics at the door, to us is a North Star. You asked one question, and I pulled the old string back there, and I just went on and on and on. So sorry.